What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review, and I know it's been out for almost a week now, and I actually read it like Thursday. Came out Wednesday. I actually read it Thursday, but I wanted to talk a little bit about The Walking Dead number 193. This was a huge surprise. You know, as I said in my Walking Dead 193 video before, we had no idea this was coming. This is something that Kirkman just dropped on us. The end is here. This is the last episode. This is the last issue. But I'd like to review it. I'd like to talk about what I read. And this was the perfect ending to The Walking Dead. It was the ending I always wanted The Walking Dead to have. You know, we know that issue 191, Rick gets shot. Issue 192, Rick dies. I didn't talk about that in the last video because I wasn't sure who was caught up. But we know, in 191, Rick gets shot. 192, Rick dies. Now here we are in 193 with a big time jump again. And we catch up with Carl. Carl with his daughter, with his wife. And we understand that Carl is now living in this world where walkers are almost a thing of the past. He even mentions that, you know, most kids today have never even seen a walker. Maggie's son, Herschel, he has a trailer that has some walkers in it, and he parades them around like sideshows, like circus animals. And in this issue, we actually see Carl's response to Herschel parading them around. Carl kills them, because that's what Carl's programmed to do. Carl is programmed to kill walkers, to take out walkers. So that was kind of the main narrative, was the Carl versus Herschel narrative that saw Carl still programmed to kill walkers, and how he's adjusting to this new world. And there was a beautiful scene at the end where he's reading a story to his daughter, and the story is their story. And he even says, I'm going to pull it out because it's perfect. He even says in this issue at the end, he did all those things, my father, your grandfather, Rick Grimes. This book is about him. And then Carl's daughter says, I know, Dad, you tell me that every time. And then she gets real excited and says, read it again. I thought that was just the perfect way to end. This was how I wanted it to end. I didn't want it to be some dream. I didn't want it to end on a ugly, sour note, you know, with everybody dying. I wanted it to end hopeful with Carl. This is how I wanted it to end, with Carl having seen the world get rebuilt. And that's where we're at. So that was beautiful. We were able to catch up with a lot of characters. You know, we caught up with Lydia. It seems like Lydia still has a thing for Carl, but Carl has moved on. Carl is now a family man. He's reestablishing what it means to be a family man in a nuclear family. So Lydia still has a thing for Carl, but Lydia's still alive all this time later. We catch up with Eugene. Eugene is actually building a transcontinental railroad. A railroad that goes across the country. And he's rebuilding it. He's reuniting the world. He's reuniting at least the United States, but the bigger implications is that Eugene is helping to reunite the world. So catching up with, you know, we catch up with Maggie. Maggie's now the president. Assuming it's the president, I think it's called the president of the Commonwealth, but it seems like the Commonwealth has expanded to be the country. So Maggie is in charge, and she's covering for her D-bag son, Herschel. But catching up with all these people was great after all this time. Who was still alive? What kind of impact were they having on the world? And everything went back to Rick Grimes. You know, everything went back to the fact that Rick allowed this to happen. I think we even caught up with Negan. I really do. There was a scene at a house where you saw a tombstone that had Lucille on it. I think that was Kirkman's way of saying that Negan's still alive. Negan's still alive and living in solitary, just as we thought he would, just as they hinted that he was going to do after the Whisperer War. So what I liked about this was the hope. We have built a better future. We have gone through the trials. They actually call it the trials. But we've gone through the trials, and now we have hope, and there's a brighter future ahead of us. And they even talk about how we've learned to live. The trials made us learn to live. We weren't living before the trials. You know, we were attached to our TVs, attached to our phones, attached to our computers, attached to all this other stuff. We were attached to our jobs, our material possessions. You know, there's so much attachment in things other than each other. And these trials, as bad as they were and as much as everybody lost, it forced us to become attached to each other. And it taught us to live. And for the first time in a long time, because of the trials, people started living again. And I thought that was a beautiful message. This was a great ending to a great series. A great series. Like I said, I jumped on early. I didn't jump on at the very beginning. I'm not one of those guys that can say that I jumped on at the very beginning. I'm not going to come here and lie to you guys and say, I've been reading The Walking Dead since it started. No, I've been reading The Walking Dead since around issue 50. So, what is that? 10 years I've been reading The Walking Dead, give or take. It was just a part of my... It was a part of my routine. Once a month, I knew that I'm gonna get a new Walking Dead comic to read, and now they're done. So it's sad. It's really sad, but I take solace in the fact that, yeah, it's sad that The Walking Dead is over, but they went out on a really high note with this book, and they ended it exactly how I wanted them to. It was a perfect ending to a great series. It wasn't always a perfect series, but overall, it was a great series. And yeah, I'm just really glad that that they stuck the landing. I would have been really disappointed if it ended up being something bad, but it wasn't. It was a perfect ending to a great series. So that's my thoughts on The Walking Dead 193. What did you think of The Walking Dead issue 193? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers. You can help me hit 100 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for being here at the LQ Review, where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we just love to talk about. And until next time, we'll see you later.